Hollow Knight is a game, and misinformation is fun. So fun and so widespread, in fact, that most people don't truly understand the lore of Hollow Knight. Most people don't even know that Hornet is void. So today, in celebration of Silksong's release, I will be sharing the true lore of Hollow Knight that they don't want you to know, starting with who really is the Knight. First off, I want to debunk something. Most people say, oh, he's not the Hollow Knight, the actual Hollow Knight is the final boss. No, this is stupid. The name of the game is Hollow Knight, so of course the main character of the game is the Hollow Knight. Think about it. Who's the main character of Mario? Mario. Who's the main character of Metroid? Metroid. Who's the main character of The Legend of Zelda? Not Zelda, but that's not the point. The point is, you play as the Hollow Knight. So is the final boss also the Hollow Knight then? I hear you asking from your greasy little chair. And yes, he is. There are two Hollow Knights. How? Time travel. I'll get to that later. But there's actually more to it than that. You see, the Hollow Knight is actually a reincarnation of another character. Someone else was actually onto this a few years ago. People called MatPat crazy for saying that the Knight was actually the Pale King. And I'm here to tell you that yes, he was crazy. That theory is stupid. The Hollow Knight is obviously the reincarnation of KARL MARX, the composer, not the communist. Think about it. It makes sense. What color is the Hollow Knight? Black and white. What's the only color we've ever seen KARL MARX in? Black and white. Coincidence? Probably, but I have more proof. KARL MARX. K-M. Knight of Emptiness. What's a synonym for empty? Hollow. Knight of Hollow. Hollow Knight. KARL MARX is the Hollow Knight. KARL MARX's name was an abbreviation of Hollow Knight, a deliberate attempt by Team Cherry to get us to connect the two. Yet somehow I am the only one to figure this out, which means I must be on the right track. But I have more proof. KARL MARX played the piano. Who else played the piano? Christopher Larkin, who did the music for Hollow Knight. Look at that. Call me Angstrom because my brain is the size of a 2015 Mitsubishi Mirage. Does that mean I need medical attention? Probably, but it also means I'm really smart. By this point, I'm sure you're convinced that the Hollow Knight is the reincarnation of KARL MARX. But I actually have one more thing to seal the deal. And that thing also explains how KARL MARX was reincarnated in the first place. But before I do that, I need to debunk the opposing argument. That being that the Hollow Knight was actually made by the Pale King in an attempt to save Hallownest from the Radiance. But this is incorrect. We see no proof that the Pale King made the Hollow Knight. We see that he made the King's Mold, sure. But is the Hollow Knight a King's Mold? No, he is not. He only has 2 arms. So the Hollow Knight is not void, and he was not made by the Pale King. Wait, he's not void? That's a big logical leap, I hear you say. But trust me when I say that my next point will tie everything together. The Hollow Knight, and by extension, KARL MARX, is the Avatar. This explains everything. Think about it. It explains why KARL MARX was able to be reincarnated as the Hollow Knight, because of the Avatar cycle. It explains why KARL MARX had fire powers. It explains why the Hollow Knight can jump so high because he's airbending. It explains why he can contain the Radiance despite not being void because he's keeping the Radiance in the same part of his mind where he keeps the previous avatars. And we've all heard it before. When the world needed him most, the Avatar vanished, and he vanished because he went to Germany to compose music. So Avatar is more like a what if the Avatar didn't become KARL MARX and he was actually trapped in ice like Captain America, which that doesn't make any sense, so I don't know why they did that. But anyway, KARL MARX was the Avatar, and after a long time he was reincarnated as the Hollow Knight. However, the Hollow Knight was misunderstood. People were afraid of him and the powers he possessed as the Avatar. They called him the Black Worm, the counterpart to their beloved Pale King, who was previously the Pale Worm. He led the battle of the Black Worm against the Hollow Knight, casting him into the Abyss. Now, where did all the skulls in the Abyss come from? Those are the skulls of the numerous times the Hollow Knight was reincarnated. That's why this place was called Birthplace. Remember the egg in the cast-off show? Looks an awful lot like the egg in Birthplace, doesn't it? Because the egg in Birthplace was from the corpse of the original Black Worm, from which the Hollow Knight and all these times he was reincarnated was born. The Hollow Knight is actually the Black Worm, just that the Avatar cycle is preventing him from being evil. Now, why are all these shades called siblings? Well, that's because throughout all of the times the Hollow Knight was reincarnated and having to live amongst the skulls of his previous lives, he began to go insane, and now he's seeing the ghosts of his previous lives. These shades sure do look a lot like the previous avatars we see, don't they? Yes they do. So look at that. We now know exactly who the Hollow Knight really is. But how did he escape the Abyss? And why is there a second Hollow Knight? When did he time travel? Why is Hornet void? Well, I would love to answer those questions, but I'm currently being hunted by the FBI for exposing this classified government information. and I need to find a new hiding spot before I tell you any more. So if I never make another video again, it's because they found me and my memories were stolen and I am turned into a soldier to fight in the underground war against the lizard people. Subscribe or I will cook you into a stew and feed you to the rats. Please donate canned beans to the elves in my walls, they're getting hungry.